You are looking live at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which snapped an 8-day win streak on Tuesday, but today started a new rally. So the Nasdaq was up 102 points, or 0.57%, and closed at 17,919. You can see the volume was 15% lower than the 50-day average, which is this line here. And the dog days of summer, you're going to get lower volume. Once Labor Day is done and people come back from their vacations, we're going to get a little higher volume. Excuse me. Well, I put that on there. Anyway, that's okay. I'll leave it up there. This is just, pointing out that we had this 22% rally, and then we had the 16% correction, and now we're having this V-shaped recovery. And if I zoom in here, you can see that the 10 EMA is, crossed above the 21, and they're both, have their sights set on the 50. And my only concern is that, that the low of the session stays above the 21, and the 21's rising. We're going to continue to rally. So that's just what I'm looking for on a daily basis. The V-shaped recovery looks good. It looks strong. I'm about, I don't know, 70% invested if anybody cares. For full disclosure, Lilly, NVDA, Spotify, TMDX, TGTX, ASPN, and TQQQ. So 10% roughly in each of those, about 70%, if anybody cares. Anyway, there's something every day that's exciting. The market, this is exciting recovery here. We had that, the drop on fears of the yen carry trade or whatever, which, the VIX spiked to what, 60 or 65 that one morning. And then that was the end of the sell-off, the capitulation of these 3 weeks of selling, and now we've had a nice rally. So, it's time to jump in. The Nasdaq now has traded above its 50. It closed 1.7% above the 50, and on this day here, it was like nearly 8% below the 50. So it's had a lot of work to do, and it's done a lot of work here. But now it's still, even if it goes sideways around this 18,000 number, these moving averages are going to catch up. So that would be healthy if it just goes sideways, and it kind of has the last few days. The high 17,877 on Monday, and Tuesday 932, and today 963. But the closes are pretty close. I mean, it's just trading sideways this week ahead of the speech from Powell at Jackson Hole on Friday, which is going to cause some volatility. Remember, usually the first reaction after he speaks is the wrong one, and then it reverses and goes the other way. If it goes down on Friday, it's probably going to reverse higher, and if it trades up after his comments, it'll probably trade lower. Just keep that in mind. That's been the pattern for a long, long time. Anyway, I've got to show the IWM, which is had a really strong day today, up 1.3%. And this has recaptured its 50. It's 3% above the 50, so it's a little stronger than the Nasdaq here in relation to its moving averages. Good day for the small caps. I know there's a theory that the back half of 2024 is going to be for the small caps. But it really sold off. If I go to TNA, which is the 3 times the Russell, went from 51 on July 31st to 31 on August 5th. So just a span of a couple of sessions it traded. This is a very volatile exchange traded fund, but it was up 3.72% today, while the IWM or the Russell was up 1.25. Anyway, that's the way it goes. MDY is another one that's trading well. Excuse me, 2.7% on the 50. Very nice. And then the SPY is doing a little better than the Nasdaq as well. You can see this base here, 565.16 is the buy point for the SPY if you haven't bought it already. And it's at 2.6% above its 50. So, the market's looking good all the way around. There's back to this rotation thing that we saw prior to the sell-off. We had this healthy rotation, and they sold everything, and now we're back to this rotation here. Apple looks good here to me, above its moving averages. It's flat today. That's fine. Flat is good. Tesla, a lot of folks like Tesla, and it's above its moving averages. You can see the August 5th day was 182, and now here we are on August 21, and it's 223. So and well above its moving averages, 3.2% above the 50. So You're seeing this 10, the green line, and the 21, which is this magenta line. Looks like they're going to rally through this rising 50. So Tesla's looking good here for those who are long Tesla. With the news from Target, Amazon got a little boost today. I just want to see this one. You can see the, the base here from the 201. If I draw this little box here, which I'm fond of doing, the 201 down to 151, now back to 201. So it needs to break above that to break out of this box. But the first order of business is to trade above the 50 for Amazon. Meta is another one that, strong stock here, set up in a base. Once again, if I draw these boxes here on this chart, 442 is the gift here. And now it's got to trade above the 542. So it's a 100-point move. And it's been doing some real work here. Meta looks really strong. If you own it, you probably have a decent cushion on here now because it's moved quickly in a short period of time. It's moved a lot of percentage points. 539.40 was the high today. It's got to get above 542.81 or call it 543. For Meta Platforms, in NVDA, they report next week, and I think they're going to crush. I think everybody knows they're going to crush. It's just how the stock responds to the new data point. But once again, this is setting up, the same type of a deal here with all these, mega cap technology stocks. Just, it sold off. It made a high, got a little frothy, sold off, and now it's got this box here. Got some work to do to get above 140. We'll call it 141, but it's traded through its moving averages. NVIDIA looks pretty strong as well. Just kind of flat today. Looks like an inside day today. That's a tight day, very tight range. 129, 126. That's a 3-day range. So NVIDIA is looking good, coiling here. I like it. AMD has had a lot of work to do. I haven't talked about this one in a while. It definitely looks like it's forming this double bottom, pattern though, as it sold off to 141, then traded up to 187, then made another low at 121, and now has driven through its moving averages here. Had a nice run from 121 to 158. Above the moving averages are trending lower though, so it's got some work to do. The shorter term moving averages are curling up. You can see the 10 through the 21 here, and the RS line heading north. So AMD's has been doing well since its most recent earnings report, and making that bottom there. So all they can do is report decent numbers, and they did. And they made the purchase on Monday, and it was well received by Wall Street. Anyway, CRUS is another one of these semiconductor fabless stocks. It's really outperforming NVIDIA and AMD. How do I know what's making new highs? So stocks making new highs are bullish where I come from. And today's high was 144.83. Another one that's outperforming is fabulous stock is Monolithic Power, making a new high today. So we like new highs. 952.01 was the high. I don't believe I had that on my ready list, but I should have. We're looking at this base about 892 there. So anyway, that's the way it goes. Moving on. Let me see here. Oh, I got to go to Target. Target was the star of the show today. I mean, when a company like that reports, strong quarter, not much was expected. The death of the consumer has been greatly exaggerated. And as Warren Buffett says, never bet against America. You can see this is just one big, base here ever since, gosh, 2023. So it's been a year and a half, essentially. This has gone nowhere. But a nice move today. So, if you own it, a lot of people own this stock just for the dividend. It's a dividend aristocrat, but 11% move with that kind of volume, that's not to be ignored. I would expect, buyers to come in and drive it higher in the coming weeks. Let me see here. Just a lot of retail names doing well. There's hit and miss though. There's a lot of them that aren't doing well, and you got to have earnings in this tape. This tape is rewarding earnings, good earnings, and it's punishing those who are not reporting good earnings. So that's the kind of market I like, because it's pretty easy to find stocks growing their earnings, and earnings growth being rewarded. This is Dick's, the double bottom base here. This is moved because Target moved the whole retail sector, but we did have this one on our ready list, and a nice pop here today, 5%. move. So yeah, I'll probably take that off my ready list. That's what, probably start trimming there on a move like that, on a stock like that. You can see the retail leisure product stock, the group is 164 out of 197. So not much is expected out of these guys. CROX today, they announced, gosh, what's her name? Sydney Sweeney is going to be the spokesperson for Hey Dude. They're going to try to market Hey Dude in Europe. So, and they're, no, excuse me, they're marketing it towards women. You think Hey Dude is a man's shoe, but they're marketing it towards women. They hired this guy from Stanley, and he's I forget the guy's name. I'll get it tomorrow. And he's a pretty good marketing guy, and he has Sydney Sweeney to uh, be the spokesperson for the Hey Dude shoes, and they are expanding globally. Europe is a big point of interest for them, but you can see it's got a big consolidation box to break out of. This one did trade above its downtrending line here, though, last week or so after, the big drop. So to me, Crocs now, let me fix this here. I'll go to the weekly. You can see the consolidation here. It's sold off how many weeks in a row? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's like capitulation selling here. 7 weeks in a row with the largest week with massive volume. So anybody who wanted out got out. And so there's no sellers left. So now it stops going lower and now it starts trading higher. I like the fact that it did break above its downtrend line. And it did close above its 50 today, just 0.5%. But I think if they get Hey Dude figured out, this is going to be a juggernaut. Very cheap stock, 8 billion market cap for 5 billion in sales. So it's less than 2 times sales. Crocs, obviously, it's a stock that I like, but I can't own it here, but I'm watching it. On Holdings, another one benefiting from the Target, one of the retail stocks that benefited from the Target news. Up 4% today. We'll take that all day long. It's still got this buy point. I have this on the ready list. It's got a couple different buy points. It traded above its downtrend line a couple weeks ago here. If I could just show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. If it touches 3 spots on a downtrend line, it's a legitimate line. It just one traded, I think this was earnings day. I'm not sure. I think it was earnings day. Yeah. The 13th, and rose 4% and then traded down to its 10 and then bounced today. So a nice 4% bounce for On Holding. Looking pretty darn good. Boot Barn, this one, man, we've got them around here. I've actually been to a Boot Barn here in the area. Pretty popular. And they don't just sell boots. Anyway, this flat base pattern, I didn't have this on my ready list. Sometimes I look back at charts and thinking, what was I thinking? But anyway, we can't kiss all the babies. We just move on. And like Mick saying, they come and go like streetcars. Boot Barn up 2% today, and it's just extended. I wouldn't buy it here. It's pretty far away. It's 3.5% above the 10 and 8, almost 9% above its 50. So yeah, probably going to trend higher, but it's going to do it without me. Got to exhibit some discipline in this business. TJX, they reported earnings, man. That's a move not to be ignored, huh? Nice 6% move with volume. I like it. Breaking out of a base. Breaking out of a base, you can see this RS line. And when Market Surge puts this blue dot here, that's just telling you it's showing relative strength. And you can see the big volume bar. So a lot of good stuff happening in retail. Shark Ninja, I had this on the ready list last week, I believe, the week before, and it just broke out and then formed this shelf type pattern. You can see the shelf here, and now it's trying to break away from this shelf here. So breaking out of this box looks good to me above that 92 area. So anyway, that's a nice little, condensed flat base is what, you'd call a shelf pattern. BURL, BURL, this one I had on my regular list a while back. Obvious breakout, this is a gap and go move here. Did pull back to its 51 time after the breakout. That's usually a gift, and it was this time. Another, 3% move today for BURL. And then SE, another one that I had on my ready list last week. I think I took it off this week. Anyway, broke higher following earnings, and now it's just trending higher on a daily basis, up 1.2% today. I would not chase that up there. wait for a pullback if I was interested in buying SE. Okay, I'm going to move on to the drug stocks. There's a lot of drug stocks doing well. I mean, I talked about the rotation. There was actually a rotation out of drugs today and into the retail space, but some of them did well. Halo made a new high here. Another one that I wouldn't chase, but just acknowledging the strength. MIRM is another one that showed strength, and now it's just kind of coiling a little bit here in a little flag type pattern, which I kind of like. CORT, another one looks very similar to MIRM. These are just trading flat. SIGA, this is the monkeypox stock. It moves on news, up 11% today. It doesn't look like it, does it? But anyway, big sell off, then bounce. These are wild. EBS and SIGA, because we're moving on news, and it's too much volatility for me. Traders love this kind of stuff, but I need something that's trending, with their moving averages. That's just my style. And Lilly, another stock that is my style. I had this on our ready list. I just like it above 900, and now it's well above 900 at 950. But I had an inside day today. Just a nice quiet day for Lilly. It pulled back these 3 days after the big run. I got a little breather, got a little closer to the moving average, the 10, and then bounced yesterday on news of a trial. It's up $2 today, but just an inside day. Lilly, I think, if you just hold this one longer term, it's going to reward you. That's the type of stock that it is. I believe there's only, not a whole lot of stocks that you just put in a retirement account and forget about it, but I believe this is one of them. Let me see what else. Oh, TGTX, this one I do have on my ready list, I think. I might have taken it off this week. Oh, no, I have it on. Okay. Obviously, the 2267 buy point. If you look at the weekly charts, a thing of beauty here, just a nice breakout after this big cup. This is a 3-week handle. The market surge is only picking up a cup, but that is a nice handle pullback. This is the August 5th move where it made that low near the 40-week line and now blasted higher the last couple of weeks. TGTX looks fantastic. The only problem with this company is it's a one drug company, and anything can happen with one drug. They need a little bigger pipeline. Yeah, it was up 10% last week, 13.5% this week. We'll take that all day long. I did want to point out on the daily chart that it was the breakout was Monday, and it was up 14%. It only gave back less than 2%. So that's always a tell. I showed you with ASTS. When a stock goes up like that and only gives a little back, that's telling you that's a good sign. And that and when institutions buy, they don't buy all at once, but it tells you that they're not selling it right away. It's not falling back into the gap. And usually when institutions try to initiate positions, they do it over weeks and months and not just one day. So I believe TGTX has the ability to double or even triple from here, or even more. Yeah, their drug is best in show. And I believe that's it for the drug stocks. I'm going to get out of here and go to software. I do know that app is on our ready list this week. It's got the standard buy point there, but I like this one as it broke above its downtrend line. Like I said, the 3 points there where it hits on the downtrend and then breaks above it. Last week, good time to get in. Then it had this little, I wouldn't call that a shelf, just like a 3-day rest period. There was 85.60, had this 3-day rest period. On Monday, pulled back a little bit to 84, and then yesterday had a nice move to 88.70, and today it was over 91. So and it's getting near that standard buy point as well. You can see the base on base pattern here. App looks good to me, and it's obviously got the growth profile that we like. And I mentioned how Wall Street is rewarding growth these days. Thank goodness. GoDaddy, I mean, Kelly Slater stock, nothing to say here, just trending higher with its moving averages. At some point, it will form a base, but it doesn't seem interested in doing that now. It just, goes up only on days ending with Y, right? GoDaddy, just a monster stock. Monday reported last Monday, gapped higher. Now just, this is strong, even though it pulled back, less than 1% today, it's still a nice inside day. You want these quiet days when, they pull back like this on lighter volume. You could see that. last couple of days, coming back a lighter volume. Monday looks fantastic. Palantir, a lot of people like Palantir. I just acknowledging the strength here. If I'm gonna buy some software, I don't think I own any software. Anyway, there are a couple software stocks that I like, but I just haven't bought them yet. And then Spotify, excuse me, I do own Spotify. This one is driving me crazy though, I have to admit. It's not doing anything. It's playing a possum. Today was just an inside day. Look at the daily range, $4, on a $340 stock. That is, like 1%. It's nothing. So a nice quiet day. Volume has been down recently. It's summer trading. I think longer term, this one's going to eventually take out that 359. But this one's testing my patience. I got to be honest. Because with other stuff moving, it's an opportunity cost, or you could sell this and buy something else that's really moving, and I'll get to that in a minute. All right, Spotify, and then Parsons, this one's broke out of its base and just trending higher with the moving averages. So I could sell Spotify and buy something like that, right? Like stocks making new highs and not stocks that are just going flat forever. You can see the cup with handle here and the clear breakout. That's textbook stuff right there. That's Parsons. All right, I'm going to move on to the insurance. I hate to do it. The insurance is killing me. But Brown and Brown making new highs. There's not much to say here. I guess, you could say that, there's a buy right there, right there, 103.16 maybe. It just closed a tick above it today. Just, surfing the moving average. As long as the moving average trading higher and the stock's trading above the moving average, you're going to make money. It's pretty much like basic logic. Gallagher, another one. These stocks that are just, trending higher with its moving averages. So the insurance stocks are super strong. TRUP. Another one, this is for pets, cats and dogs, US, Canada, Puerto Rico. People treat their pets better than their children sometimes. But you can see this is classic stuff here. The pullback, the cup. If I get my line pin here, you can see this little cup consolidation, then it comes up, now it pulls back to its moving average of 21, excuse me, the 50, finds support and just rips higher, man, because that's going to shake people out. When a stock trades from 38 down to 29, yeah, that's going to shake most people out. Shake out, and then the go. Shake out the breakout. All right. And the other one was HRTG. This one, a friend of mine pointed this one out to me. Nice, it's a flag type pattern, a breakout. Now it's flagging sideways, forming this pennant type pattern. Let's see this on the weekly. Yeah, very nice. Probably take, a little more time before it starts moving. You see the base on base pattern there for Heritage Insurance. All right, that's enough insurance stuff. I've got to get to exciting stuff. The air conditioning. HVAC group train made a new high today above the 351.41. It might not look like it to the naked eye, but there it is, 353.44. So I wouldn't call it a buy point, just an area of interest. And if you wanted to buy it, yeah, I'd say 351.41 is a good place to start. If you want to start like a quarter position on train. I'm not, but mod is the one that I had on our ready list this week because I like this little, sideways pattern trading close to its 10 EMA. It was up nearly 4% today. I think I had the buy point about 108. It's fine though. This looks fine. 109.53 probably is the buy point. It's up a couple bucks. So these ones look good. Fix is another one I like in this group. You can see why. I mean, this thing is consolidating in its base, pulls back to its 10, and now pops today 4%. So yeah, that one looks good as well. And it's still in a base, still actionable, in my opinion. All right. I'm going to move on to CAVA. They report tomorrow, but I just want to point out that it's making new highs, trading above 100. Stocks making new highs ahead of earnings. I'm a little skeptical, and it's 7.5% above the 10. So they could report stellar earnings and blow it out and raise guidance and still pull back to the 10. So be careful there with CAVA. Sweet Greens, another one that ran up And when they come straight up from the bottom, they usually take some time because there's going to be what? Profit taking, right? If I'm up from 23 to 36 or whatever, 38 or whatever it was, I'm taking profits. And most people would. So it pulled back to its 10 today and then popped 4%. So keep my eye on sweet green. I believe that's actionable right there today. I didn't buy it, but I think that is actionable. Wing, another one. There's just hit and miss in retail. Some of this is really good stuff. I don't want to show you the bad stuff, but there are some bad stuff out there. Wing came down from 431 to 340, 90-point move, and now it's gotten rejected at its 50. So I don't like that until it gets back above the I would say $400. Safely above its 50 SMA. Oh, and the last one is Bros. One that I like. I mean, I go by Bros every day and it's just packed over there. They report strong earnings, but sold off. Now it's below its 200. So it has some work to do. Short-term moving averages, the green, the pink, and even the 50, the red are trending lower. So that's not a good sign for Bros, but has a lot of work to do. I wouldn't give up on it. It's got the growth profile that Wall Street loves. Okay, let's go to the home builders. I do have a home builder on ready list. I should have two of them. This is DHI. This is my favorite one because it's the largest and most liquid. Made a new high today at 187.12. Pulte is the one that I had on the ready list. Yeah, nice 3% move today at 128. Very strong move for Pulte. And the other one I like is Lennar, which is still, closer to its 10, but now starting to push away from this base here, up 3% today. So the home builders looked good as well. Toll Brothers reported earnings, and that was a little bit of a boost for the group. And you could see this one was up with volume, and it's getting extended away from its base as well, up nearly 6%. So time to take some profits there. Another group that I like, TMDX. I do have this one on my ready list. It's just marking time here. The closer you can get them to the moving averages, I talk about this a lot. I'm like, if you didn't buy this one and it pulled back to the 10 yesterday, that was a good time to pull the trigger. Bounce 4% today. If you owned it, when it pulled back to the 10, it didn't take out last week's low, did it? No. So last week's low was 159.63. So that's what I would look at if I am holding it, but I'm not thinking of selling it. But if I was thinking of selling it, if it closed below last week's low, 159.63, I would definitely toss it because I can always buy it back. But this is showing no sell signs and looking really strong. You can see the earnings line heading due north. So I do like Transmedics. The volume is not. Let me go back to the weekly. The volume's not really. Yeah, okay. I see the difference between the weekly and the daily. If you look at the weekly, you're going, wow, look at these big blue volume bars, right? It's only been 3 days this week, so it'll probably get up there by the end of the week. But if you look at the daily, you're thinking like, it's this big pink cell bars, pink bars. But the weekly shows a big difference that the institutions are supporting this stock. And I think eventually it's just going to trade higher. 171.98, that is not the high, excuse me. 175.73 it made on Monday and then reversed lower and then came down to the 10. So yeah, so it's got to take out that old 175. 175, what did I say? 175.73. Yeah. Intuitive Surgical, another beast in this group, just trading, higher almost every day. Any day that ends with Y, Intuitive Surgical is higher. Between these two, I mean, Intuitive is a much bigger company, 173 billion. TMDX has the growth, but both of these are just looking really strong. And then the other one in this group is Lantheus. Now I like this one because it sold off. It went up on news, good news, came down after earnings, which wasn't bad, 23% sales growth, 17% earnings growth, but it found support at the 50, and now it popped nearly 3% today. This one looks ready. I would buy this at $100 if I didn't own Transmedics and I wanted to own the medical product stock. Definitely looks good there. All right, a couple of names that I talked about earlier about stuff that holding Spotify, you're missing out on some of these other names. This is ASPN. This one popped last week. I think it was Friday. It made this big move of 23%. And now this week it's just kind of flat, but you can see on the weekly this blue dot on the RS line. The RS line charging through its moving averages. That's a buy sign in my book, and made a new high on Monday of 33.15. I think it was Monday, it might have been yesterday. Oh, it was yesterday, and then pulled back. So the moving averages need to catch up. I mean, after a move of that magnitude, you think, it needs to pull back a little bit. There's going to be some profit taking, but today, just an inside day, a real quiet day. Was it $1.30 from high to low? That's a super quiet day. So I'm watching this one. I would be surprised if this did not make a new high real soon. Just my opinion. And the other one is ASTS. I've got to stop it. Market surge. I've got to show you this one, like on the 15-minute chart. We'll say, yeah, after this move following earnings, every time it pulls back, it just gets bought. Now, it made this move on Friday. A lot of profit takers came in, and people thought, oh, shoot, the move is over. And now, look what happened the last 2 days. Yeah, yesterday it sold off, but found support. Now today bounced up to 39.08, so made a new high today. And you can just see the volume profile. There's a lot of interest in this name. Yeah, up 6% today. So, you can sit there and hold Spotify and go sideways, or buy something like this, or trade it with options or whatever. But anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. A lot of stuff going on. Obviously, Powell speaks on Friday, and that's going to move the markets one way or the other. I believe they're going to talk about, they're going to cut rates in September, and that's what the market expects. So the market doesn't want any surprises or uncertainty. Thank you for watching. In the honor of the great Steve Jobs, I have one more thing. Snowflake reported tonight and down 6%. I don't think this is going to carry much weight in the software group. If you own software stocks, this is kind of trading unto itself. I didn't hear the report. I don't know anything, but I do know they have a new CEO, and things aren't going well at Snowflake, obviously. Zoom reported, this is Kathy Woods, one of her favorite stocks. It's up 3% after hours. You can see it's in a clear downtrend, though. Hasn't done anything for a long time, since this COVID high in October of 2020 is $588 stock. How about that? Down to $60. That's why you don't buy and hold. You buy and watch. You be vigilant about your stock, especially growth stocks. They're like ticking time bombs, and you don't want those hand grenades going off in your hands. You got to toss them before that happens. Wolfspeed, another one that I could talk about. They're losing money, no earnings. You can't hold stuff like this. This is a complete dog show. Stay away. It's a complete avoid. Down 4% after hours. Just losing money like a sieve. Wolf Synopsis. I mean, this is a semiconductors design company. You could see these double bottom base type pattern. This is really wild, a little too wild for me. Gosh, look at this all over the place. This looks like chicken scratches or a Pollock painting. Geez, it's up percent after hours though, so that's good. Urban, I did see that report. It was a good report, but something with it's their brand, one of their brands, Anthology or whatever, wasn't selling quite as expected, but they did beat on top and bottom line, but they're going to get a little bit of a haircut tomorrow due to that. Same store sales was a little lower, so I'll have more in the morning on these. Anyway, at mcstockcharts.com, thank you for watching. We never, ever give up.